The first time I met Nancy, it was fleeting. She breezed into this lab with this huge, striking blonde hair. It's like, who is this woman?
When I first met Nancy, I was quite shy, and she gave me a big hug and made me feel very wanted.
She was just this vision in white, right? She had this wonderful flowing hair, and it was like, oh, that's Nancy Wexler.
It's easy to be starstruck around Nancy.
Nancy is a powerhouse, but more than that, what really characterizes her is her charisma and her warmth.
If you say, hey Siri, show me charisma, what pops up is a picture of Nancy Wexler.
The first time I saw Nancy, I knew instantly who she was. She was across this conference room with her head thrown back, with this booming laugh.
You just felt like, oh wow, this woman's incredible.
Nancy is more than a force of nature. She enters a room and she doesn't miss a beat. Nice, introduces herself, says that you're always special, whoever it is, and won't you start working on Huntington's disease? I see that you would fit right in here, and before the conversation is over, Nancy has got a new collaborator.
She couldn't imagine how any scientist would want to work on anything else but Huntington's disease.
As far as Nancy was concerned, finding the Huntington's disease gene was her life as well as ours.
She was obviously courageous, because most people in her situation would just have hoped for the best and not done anything. And she and her father managing to set up very powerful collaboration involving some of the top scientists.
Nancy was the person who captured all of us. I mean, talk about somebody who had the skill to manage a complicated, sometimes large ego group of folks and have them all decide that they loved her and loved each other. That's a unique skill.
She's relentless and has a single goal. And when you have a single goal, it's easier to sell it to people. And she's a particularly good salesman, but even a good salesman can give up. Nancy doesn't give up. Nancy just keeps driving.
This is her passion, her life, and it was contagious.
She's always been just brilliant and, incredible scientist. And her force of will that this was going to happen. We were going to do this.
Nancy made us believe that by working together, we would exceed far greater goals than we would by working individually.
Nancy was single-handedly responsible for that whole Venezuelan study really getting going.
Nancy got the National Institute of Neurological Diseases to sponsor that Venezuela project, even though none of the bureaucrats wanted it. But she pushed and pushed and pushed and got it.
Nancy kept patients at the forefront of the research because of the Venezuelan project. She was out there talking to families herself.
Nancy in Venezuela was just a phenomenon. She was a rock star amongst the Venezuelans and really, really felt that these people were her family.
She was related to them. She said, in my family, we have the same thing. My mother had mal de San Vito.
She really cared about others who were dealing with her situation of being at risk, and it gave her a deep and abiding connection to the patients.
She just embraced everybody. She has had so much love in her for the people down there.
I think Nancy, in many ways, is the North Star. She still is the North Star of Huntington's disease.
Nancy built collaborations, and those collaborations are still continuing. She facilitated the building of those relationships. She made working on Huntington's disease a very special thing.
People will comment on that as they get drawn into the HD field about how different it is, and how friendly people are and how willing people are to collaborate. And I really believe that that is a legacy of the way Nancy kind of formed the field from the beginning.
I just hope you can capture 10% of how extraordinary, I'm gonna cry, how extraordinary Nancy Wexler is. She's just an incredible force. Not just her contributions to science or to the HD community, but to people both in the scientific world and families who have HD. She's just truly extraordinary.